Hi guys, welcome back to another video, or your first video here, I don't know. Welcome if you're new here, welcome either way. You had to sit under the tripod, did you? Honestly. And today I'm going to be going through my 2023 goals, seeing if I met them, and then adjusting those goals for my 2024 reading. Let's get into that. The first goal I put in place was to read 100 books. And yes, I did meet this. I completely smashed this goal. I ended up reading over 200. And this is the obligatory part of the video where I say, it does not matter how much you read. It does not matter how frequently you read, how long the books are that you read. Like, all reading is great reading, and I never force myself to read. It is just something that I enjoy doing, and therefore I have quite a big number. Also, I tend to read very short books, which ups this number. So this is in no way me judging anyone's reading or me saying that this is the sort of number of books that you need to be reading per year. But I'm really proud of myself for this one. And I'm going to keep that the same for next year. The next goal I had, goal number 2, was for at least a third of the reads to be from my already established shelf. And I actually have a graphic for that, so I will move over slightly. I have split my reads up here by whether or not I want to purchase myself a copy, whether or not I owned them already. So that includes books where I owned them and then read them. I read and bought within the same year because I didn't want to sort all of that out. And books that I owned, read, and then decided I don't want to keep anymore, so I've gotten rid of. This one was very close, but a third of those reads were ones that I owned. And I think that that goal works for me, so I will keep it the same. Next, we have goal number 3, which was for keeping my physical TBR under 150 books. Now, I did not meet this. If you have me on Goodreads, then this number might be bigger, but I have 179 physical books on my TBR. I don't include comics on that list just because my number of comics tends to vary so wildly. I think that number is correct because as I'm filming this slightly late, I've tried to include all of the books where I've read them in first couple of months of 2024. Also, I don't know whether or not in previous years I included my play collection. So I currently have 35 unread plays, which I need to get on top of and actually start reading some of those. But even that, I'd still be at 162. And also, I am exceeding the shelf space that I've allotted for those books. I have a stack on my last little section that is just not on the shelf because I own too many TBR books for the shelf space I've allotted to them. And so for the next year, so I didn't meet this goal, and for the next year I'm going to keep it the same. I want to knock back my physical TBR to under 150 books. The next goal was to finish 5 series, and again I did meet this, and I also made some graphics. I will put them here, but I also went through them in far more detail in its own separate video, so do go over there if you want to see me go through all the series I finished last year and that are still on my shelves. So in terms of series I started and completed, I had 5 of them. Because they're on my phone, I'm using my phone to record. Let's see if I can remember them off the top of my head. So I had 2 series by KJ Charles, The Will Darling Adventures and Wanted a Gentleman. I had Every Heart a Doorway. I had the Dartmoor series. I had the Belinda Blinked series. And, right, KJ Charles, Dartmoor, Belinda Blinked, Every Heart a Doorway. That's all of them. And so I did, in fact, complete this goal. I also had 2 series where I didn't start them, but I completed them in this year, that being the Montague Siblings series and the Shadow and Bone series. I had 5 series where I either read the first book or read the first couple and decided not to continue with. And so those would have been of Iron and Gold. Anyway, you can see them on the screen. I really can't remember. So that's 12 series that I knocked off my shelf, and then I have a bunch more series that I'll just show up here of ones where I tried out the first book and it didn't work for me, so I won't be continuing on with the series. And that totals up to 29. So I smashed this goal, and for next year I will be keeping it the same. My fifth and final goal is not so much a reading goal, but a channel goal, and that is to keep this channel going. And a sub goal was to post one video per every 2 weeks. So I will be keeping this goal the same, and I think I kind of met this goal in terms of just keeping the channel going. Yes, I did, but also I had a huge amount of time where I wasn't posting because of other things, mental health, so I'm not going to beat myself up about that. This is something that I do for fun and for me to have my own personal record. And so I consider that a semi-goal that I reached. I also haven't kept track of how many videos I've posted, so I will put here whether or not I did actually meet the goal of posting one video per 2 weeks on average. But in the next year, I will be keeping that the same. And there we have it. Those are all of the goals that I made for 2023, whether or not I kept them, and the updated versions for 2024. I would love to know whether or not you set yourself any reading goals, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.